Apple.
Apple and
Apple.
Apple.
Apple. It's Apple. I'm not an Apple fanboy.
Naughty. You teasing me, you naughty.
I use an Android. I use Windows. I'm an enthusiast. I don't use Apple.
But today, I know a lot of Android fans and Windows fans are going to hate me.
But anyway, let's move. Today we have a special edition. It's our yearly Q&A. I ask you guys some questions over on Twitter, on Instagram, and on WhatsApp. And you guys ask some questions. And as you can see from the thumbnail, we have a special guest, Rick Aqua, one of the biggest tech YouTubers in the country, to help us answer some of the questions. So further ado, I'm Michelle Maguel. Welcome to Tech. Alright, so our first question is from Audrey, and he says, could you talk about how Apple has the world in a chokehold despite the fact that there are other probably better phones and gadgets? I think it's because of the value Apple has attached to their products. A lot of people would like to wear a Rolex or drive a Benz or a Bugatti or whatever they call it, but they can't because it's above most people's budget. But the perceived value of Apple products have remained on top there with the Rolex and Bugattis since its inception, and most people are inclined to be associated with the upper class status, right? And this perceived value I mentioned is what Apple has embedded into their products and their marketing. And though they're expensive, iPhones are one of the few things that with that perceived value that are actually attainable by most people. $600 to $1,000 is no small money, but it's attainable for most people and way less expensive than something like a $100,000 Benz or Bugatti. The next thing I think Apple does well that makes people always go for it is their camera quality. Now I think this is something I wouldn't have agreed on a couple of years ago, but if you are being very objective here, the iPhone now has one of the best cameras in the world of all the brands, and if you are being honest, they actually do have one of the best cameras. And one thing I've realized is that the way they render the skin tones, especially dark skin tones like mine, is exceptionally good, and that's one thing Android companies are now trying to make a reality. So a lot of people have come to love the way their skin looks on iPhones, and you know, they take sun kiss and all that, and I don't blame them. Snapchat and most social media apps are also optimized for the iPhones, so snaps and videos don't look as bad as compared to if you shoot on an Android. It's a shame that only Samsung and Google are trying to push Snapchat and the other companies to optimize it for them, but it's only iPhone that does it well at the moment. The rest are coming, they are coming, but it's not there yet. So yeah, those are the two reasons I think people tend to gravitate towards Apple products. It's the perceived value and I think the camera quality. The next question is from Miriam, and it says, buy the iPhone 13 or wait for the iPhone 14. Wait for the iPhone 14. Usually when it's 2 to 3 months to September and you want to get the latest iPhone, I just advise you to wait for the new one. A couple of reasons. Number one, the pricing of the existing iPhone usually remains the same throughout the year till they release a new one. So you are better off waiting for the new one just to get the latest and greatest. So if it's close to September and you want to get the latest iPhone, just wait till they release it, because it's probably going to be around the same price as the old one that you also want to get. The next question is for Miriam again, and it says, Dell XPS Plus or M2 MacBook Air? This question is really hard, right? I think it boils down to the operating system you are familiar with, which is Windows or Mac, because these two laptops are some of the best in the world. The Dell XPS is probably the best looking laptop in the world, and the M2 MacBook is one of the most power efficient laptops released to date. And so I think your deciding factor should be the operating system. Which operating system do you like? If you like Mac, go for the M2 MacBook Air. If you like Windows, then go for the XPS Plus. I think the XPS Plus looks extremely gorgeous.
Okay, so I'm gonna take this one. My name is Rick. My question was best charging practices to maintain good iPhone battery life for Miriam. Okay, so the best iPhone charging practice you could probably adopt is to turn on optimized battery charging. What this is basically going to do is your phone is going to learn your charging routine. For instance, when you go to bed and your phone realizes you always wake up at 5 a.m., your phone is not going to fully charge to 100% throughout the night and wait for you at 5 a.m. It's probably going to stop charging at 85%. And when it's getting close to 5 a.m., your phone is going to fully charge to 100 because it knows you're about to wake up. So what this does is that it reduces stress on your lithium-ion batteries found in your iPhone, which is going to make it age better. It probably won't degrade as fast as a normal iPhone battery will. So to turn this on, all you have to do is to go into your settings, go to the battery, then go to the battery services. You should see optimized battery charging at the bottom. Just turn it on, then you're good to go. Okay, so the second question is there a way to use Apple's continuity camera unlike a Samsung from Jifa? Okay, let's look at this way. Knowing Apple and how they are kind of closed, I don't think they're going to allow you to use a Samsung for the continuity camera service. Okay, if anybody's wondering what the continuity camera service is, Apple allows you to use your iPhone as the webcam for your computer when you're doing a Zoom call or anything like that. Basically, your iPhone's camera is way better than the webcam found on the MacBook, and Apple knows this. So the continuity service is going to allow you to use your iPhone as the camera for your webcam, which comes with a whole lot of features like the portrait mode, the top-down features, all that comes in the new Mac OS and the new iOS 16. I think this feature works well because the MacBook communicates better with the iPhone. I don't think you can use a Samsung for this continuity service, but if the question is, can you use a Samsung for something that's similar to the continuity camera on the MacBook? Yes, I think I even did a video 2 years ago. There's a software called Comp that allows you to use any phone for the webcam for your PC. So you can definitely use a Samsung as a webcam for your PC if that is what you mean. I hope I answered that question well.
Alright, the next question is from Romeo, and he says, why is MKBHD biased when it comes to iPhone? And he's talking about this in reference to the video he did with Mr. Who's the Boss. Now, I've been following MKBHD for a long time, and I don't think he's biased towards Apple. Look, he's not my friend. I'm not going to get paid for saying this. I don't even know whether he'll ever see this video or I'll ever meet him. So nothing should motivate me to just defend him for nothing. But there's something I've observed about him a couple of years now. He always uses two phones, one Android, one iPhone. And that's so that he can keep himself updated on both fronts. And he has even said before that
I split my time, like for real, but I do prefer, if I could only use one, I would just have the Android phone.
So the third question, what brand do I think would be the leading brand in the next 5 to 10 years? Kali. I hope I don't sound like an Apple sheep with this one. Okay, personally for me, I think it's probably going to be Apple, due to the fact that lately they have been releasing more affordable devices like the SEs, which is probably going to encourage a lot of people to get into the Apple ecosystem. And the thing is, the ecosystem works, but most of their stuff are expensive. So if they kind of reduce their prices a little bit, a lot of people are going to hop onto the Apple ecosystem because it works well, it lasts for a very long time, it has good resale value. Like, I'm sure if I can afford it, I'll buy it too. And I think Apple will probably realize this and reduce their prices a little bit. In the next 5 to 10 years, I see them taking a bigger chunk of the market. So if you ask me, I think it's probably going to be Apple, then maybe Samsung. Yeah. So thank you for having me on, Manuel. Peace.
Alright, so Kali, the brand I think would be leading the next 5 to 10 years, I think it's Apple. And I think it's a no-brainer. Most people agree with me, right? But let me just justify my reasoning. Why do I say Apple? I think it's their ecosystem, their software support, and their ARM architecture. Now, the ecosystem, Apple products, they all work well with each other. You buy an iPhone, you buy an Apple Watch, you buy a MacBook, they communicate seamlessly with each other. And having a very integrated system, I think, goes a long way to future-proof your involvement in the brand. And again, I also said the software updates. Because Apple controls the entire pipeline, they create their software, create the hardware, they create their chips. So they're able to secure software updates for 4 to 5 years. I mean, if iPhone 6s Plus is getting updates till now, I really think it's a beautiful thing. And the final reason I think is because of Apple's head start. Now let me go a little bit geeky, right? If you look at the performance on the phones right now, if you compare iPhones and you compare Androids, right? The iPhones have been ahead in performance for the past 10 years. And it's not even funny anymore. Anytime an Android tries to catch up, the next iPhone just completely demolishes it. It's crazy. But then that's because of one reason, right? In 2013, Apple decided to move from 32 bits to 64 bits in the chips that they use in the phone. And now this transition enabled them to push their performance ladder even higher. So from 2013 to now, all the Android companies are just trying to do catch up. Snapdragon and all the other companies, MediaTek and everything. So it's the same thing for their laptops. Now Apple has been the first company to transition to ARM architecture, unlike the x86 architecture, which is on Intel and AMD. Now x86 is not terrible, right? But it's not efficient. And then Apple has seen that okay, ARM is efficient, and they've been able to extract significant performance from the ARM architecture. Now I believe, because I think a couple of years ago I did some research work in statistics, and we predicted that the future of mobile computing and personal computing will actually be ARM, but then Apple has made a transition first. So now all the rest of the companies, they would have to be playing catch up if they decide to transition to ARM, because ARM is more efficient. And I truly believe that in the future, almost all the PCs and the big computers, they are all their chips will have ARM architecture. And so Apple has taken a step ahead, and I feel like the other companies will try and do catch up. And this is the reason why Apple always takes some decisions that keeps them ahead of the game for the most part, right? And so that's the third reason I think Apple is going to be the leading brand for the next 5 to 10 years. So the next question is from an anonymous person, and he says, if you had to advise a person to get gadgets from just one brand, what brand will you advise and why? Look, today Windows fans and Android fans are going to hate me, but we all know the answer. It's Apple. Now, why is that? Again, you can even link it to the same point I mentioned in the past, right? Look, mention one company that has a complete collection of gadgets. Samsung, right? Now let's take a look at Samsung. They have a lot of gadgets. In fact, I feel like they even have more gadgets than Apple, right? But do they work as seamless like the way the Apple's own works? I don't think so, right? Now Samsung has actually pushed the front. I think Samsung has done a really good job in trying to integrate a lot of their products, and to be honest, they've done a good job, right? But they don't create Android. They try to modify Android to their liking and all those things, but it's not very streamlined, right? And if you think about it, Samsung doesn't have a powerhouse computer or a powerhouse laptop. And if you want a complete set of gadgets, for me, I think it's a watch, an iPad, a PC, or a desktop and a laptop. And then Apple has all those things, but unfortunately Samsung does not have a powerhouse computer. They have a laptop, an ultrabook, but it's an ultrabook, right? It's not a powerhouse. And so Apple has a more complete gadget collection, in my opinion. You bet to differ. If a TV is part of your gadgets collection, then I guess you could go for Samsung. But personally, I think that's one reason why I think Apple is the brand to go for. Again, the way the devices communicate with each other, the way it's seamless to move from one to the other, you won't get that on any other brand or any other device. Alright, so that's it for the questions. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like, subscribe, and share with friends and family. And let's build the tech West Africa together. So until next time, I'll see you. I'm Michelle Mano, and thank you so much with Aqua for this collaboration. And we hope to do more of these on the channel very soon. I'll see you guys very soon. Next time. Bye bye.